To leave entirely, but you're definitely not going to add any more restaurants here under this new leadership. Why do you take such issue with the new mayor?
Currently, we had 3 leases ready to sign in October. Upper West Side, Upper East Side, and West Side Midtown to expand Diner 24, because we were the first to bring back the 24-hour diner post-COVID. Because remember, all of them closed, and we brought back the 24-hour diner. And it really was such a success. We wanted to open 4 altogether just in the Manhattan area. But, when I start hearing uncertainty and I start hearing, defund the police and a lot of uncertainty in the small business areas of what I'm hearing this upcoming mayor campaigning on, we like clarity. We don't like guessing. So right now we're just like a sit back and wait and see if he can pass some of these things that he campaigned on, because we're not going to open businesses in that climate.
So if not in New York City, where else might you open more business?
Well, we have 2 diner leases ready to go in Miami, where I am right now. And we have plenty of capital to expand because the business is doing so well. And I believe there is a need for a 24-hour diner. But when you get to that $20 price point, people don't, the politicians don't understand it because they never ran a lemonade stand.
That's the problem with Mamdani. He never got into a position to run a business. So many businesses are going to leave New York. I think Mamdani was trying to have $30 minimum per hour. How are you supposed to have food for people in our business, but you got to pay people $30 an hour, and then you're not going to have police and talking about defunding the police? This is what happens when you put people in office that never ran a business. This is what happens. You have to make sure that the businesses are going to make money. If not, they will just close their business and go somewhere else. You have to take care of the money. If Mamdani was smart, he should have worked with the business owners. And then he would have been able to do some of the things that he wanted to do because he would have been getting capital. But you're trying to make it hard for people to have a business. So why would you want the businesses to be there? $30 an hour for minimum wage? That's insane. So that means what? The business is going to have to raise their prices. It's impossible, especially in the restaurant business. I'm not saying you pay people on restaurants cheaply, but you pay them a fair wage. But if you're making $30, how much? My stuff is not going to be a diner. It's going to be like a luxury spot where I have to sell $50 pancakes. So how can I have this but still pay my employees so much? This is why business people, like you said, it has to be clarity. If it's not clear, why would I take all of this millions and billions of dollars and invest it in New York? New York is already losing millions and billions of dollars of investment because of what he's trying to do, what he's promising, what he's trying to put his foot down on these businesses. But you need the businesses for the capital from the taxes to be able to do the things that you want to do. How are you going to fund free buses? How are you going to fund, no police, defund the police? How are you going to fund these activities when you don't have businesses to get taxed from? The people. But then how are the people going to get taxed if there's no businesses to work for? New York is going to be the prime example of what socialism does to a state and to a city, because you want to give free, but you're not giving the business the opportunity to make money. If without businesses, people won't make money. We are built on a capitalist lifestyle. If the businesses aren't making money, what do the businesses do? We'll just close and go somewhere else. He's going to Miami, Tennessee, Texas. There's a lot of places that's business favored. They favor businesses and business friendly because they understand we're going to give you a good tax benefit. We're going to give you a reason to be here, but we'll just tax the people like we've been doing. So more people that make money, that's the more people we can tax. One business and try to get as much money as you can, or thousands of employees and you get a little bit off of each one. It's simple economics. This is why I always feel, I've always come up with this thing, we got to start having politicians that have some sort of business knowledge. Because if you don't understand the budget. Yes, you may have somebody there to tell you what to do, but you have to understand what it takes to build a business. Prime example, President Trump. Say what you want to say about him, but he's built businesses. He may have won, he may have failed, but he's been there. He's been on both sides. He knows what it takes to win, and he knows what it takes to fail. But he has business experience. So now he's looking at the country as a big business. First, you do when you overtake a country, or you get into a country, or you get into a business, how can I trim the fat to save money? Before I try to come up with this grandiose plan of trying to do more, I have to get rid of the excess. I have to figure out where's the fat so I can run the country or run my business lean. Mom Donnie's been spoon-fed by his parents. He's a rich kid that's telling you that you don't have to work because he didn't have to work, but he has money. A lot of y'all in New York have to work. You didn't come from money, but you voted for a socialist that's telling you you don't have to work for money. He doesn't have to work for money because his parents has given him everything that he wants. Everybody in New York does not have that ability. But what's happening is you have people like this guy, restaurant moguls, real estate moguls, either just leaving. You know what? Cancel that lease. I don't want to be locked in because I might get screwed. I might get sued for not paying $30 an hour. I might get more taxes. Even though I'm paying the $30 per hour, you're still going to tax me more. Where does the business get a break? Mom Donnie has yet to talk about that and say, this is how I'm going to look out for the businesses and real estate because we need them. He's going around and telling the young people, these young liberals, that we don't need them, but you do. Where else will the capital come from? Imagine if 50% of the businesses just left. Now that's 50% of that workforce is out on the street. How are you going to give them money to take care of them if you don't have any money from businesses? Oh, I know. Let's ask the president. Let's ask the government. Let's come up with these BS situations so we can get money and spend it. But that doesn't work. It won't work. One thing I can tell you about New York, they have a lot of people that's business savvy. They already seen this coming, and they're like, we're out of here. We'll come back when this dude is gone. We have the capital to wait. But the average everyday American does not have the capital to wait. So what are they going to do? I can already tell you what Mom Donnie's going to do. When he gets into office, it's going to be the blame game. Well, I tried to do it, but the governor's in my way. I tried to do it, well, Trump is in my way. I tried, but I don't have enough funding. I'm not in charge of the excess funding that I need to be able to make things move. He's just going to continue to be pointing a finger. You know the Spider-Man meme? They're all going to be pointing a finger at each other. But he's going to be pointing to two different people so you can focus on them and not on him. How in the hell is he supposed to get this money? Oh, I'm a tax or I'm going to do this, but there's no businesses. How are you going to do that?
But when you raise minimum wage to $30, you know, at that point, that $12 hamburger becomes $22. And it's not going to work when you're in the fast casual business where the average ticket is $15 to $24 a person. That's basically a nail in the coffin. You're out of business. And all I say to the mayor, upcoming mayor, is, you know, and actually he's quite impressive for a 33-year-old, but he's never run a business. He's never run a small business. And to me, I think he needs to open the doors for dialogue or debate with small business owners like myself and other restaurateurs and other small business owners to open dialogues. I think the best thing for all of us is a better New York City. And I just think his policies, his socialist, Democrat socialistic policies do not work.
That's what it is. We got to stop. To win and for everybody to be successful, everybody has to eat. It can't be a far left. It can't be a far right. It has to be in the middle. Everybody has to eat. Because without the business eating, then you won't have employees eating. So you need the businesses. You need the real estate for people to live. What, you're just going to take the real estate? And how much money do you have to pump into that real estate to get it to where it needs to be? When you can just work with the owners, they'll get it back right, give them some type of tax credit, whatever, to make sure that they are still making money. We don't get into business not to make money. People get into businesses to make money. People get into real estate to make money. But if you have a governor in there that doesn't want you to make money, then why do I need to be there? I can just not rent out to anybody. I can just not just create these leases. This is already having an impact. People are already leaving New York. Yes, people may return in the future, but I know a lot of people are leaving because it's kind of unmanageable. He made a key point, this mogul did, as far as Mom Donnie never ran a business. He doesn't know what it takes to run a budget. He doesn't know what things actually take to actually run. It's said that to have free buses is going to cost $700 million to $1 billion a year. Where are you supposed to get that money from if you're going to get free buses? Let's start thinking smart. But the thing is, though, the people that voted for him, you did not think. You like to smile. He dressed nice. He tells you everything you want to hear. But he's not going to be able to deliver on those promises. All he's going to be doing is playing the blame game, pointing his finger at everybody else for his own failures.